everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching us. Today, we are here for our second lessons on Koine Greek Simplified. Have you watched our previous videos? If you have not, please go back, watch it. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to notify us. That's how we will know what you want, what you need, and what you want us to be doing every time. Today's lesson, on lesson 2, Koine Greek Simplified, I am inviting the teacher, Dr. Godson Ebujo.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today, lady?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, and we thank God for His grace. We are here for the second lesson
Thank God.
on the Koine Greek, as the anchor person simply introduced it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember in the last lesson we discussed the alphabets, and I know that by now you must have been acquainted with the alphabets, and remember also that this Koine Greek is specifically for biblical interpretation, exegesis, hermeneutics, and application of the Bible. If you want to understand the Bible, you need to understand the language with which the Bible was written. The biblical language is Greek. The New Testament biblical language is Greek. Therefore, it's better you go back to lesson number 1, grab the alphabet, and then join us as we are doing the vowels and diphthong. In Greek language, there are these 7 vowels that the Greek recognized. They are alpha, epsilon, eta, iota, omicron, upsilon, and omega. Alpha, epsilon, eta, iota, omicron, upsilon, and omega. Then among the vowels, listen very attentively. Among the vowels, eta and omega are always long, because eta can also be considered as double epsilon, whereas omega can also be considered as double omicron. Therefore, eta and omega are always long, whereas epsilon and omicron are always short. Then, alpha, iota, and upsilon are sometimes long and sometimes short. Furthermore, there are these 2 vowels that habitually combine with other vowels to form what we call diphthong. Therefore, what is a diphthong? A diphthong is combination or the fusion of 2 vowels. Fusion of 2 vowels forms a diphthong. However, in Greek, not all 2 vowels that come together forms a diphthong. For instance, iota and epsilon, like this, will not be called a diphthong, but they are 2 separate vowels. So in Greek language, there are these diphthongs, as we will note them on the board this moment. We have diphthongs that are formed with adding iota to other vowels. Example, alpha, iota. We have epsilon, iota. We have omicron, iota. We have upsilon, iota. So this is pronounced as I, a, I, e. So I, a, oi, e. Then other forms of diphthongs are formed by adding upsilon to other vowels. Alpha, upsilon. We have epsilon, upsilon. We have eta, upsilon. Then we have omicron, upsilon. As ow, ew, ew, oh. All right, these are the 8 diphthongs in Greek. Meanwhile, there are these 3 special diphthongs in Greek. These 3 special diphthongs are alpha, eta, and omega. They form their diphthongs by the addition of iota. However, the iota is not placed in front of the vowels, but they are converted as a subscript under the vowels, like a small letter C. That is what the Greeks called the iota subscript. Let me introduce us to what we call the breathing marks. Breathing marks. In Greek, there are these marks that are called the breathing marks. They are smooth and rough breathing marks. Smooth breathing marks is written like a small comma or a little apostrophe, like this. And rough breathing mark is written like a small c, like this. Meanwhile, bear this in mind that these breathing marks are placed on top of any vowel or diphthong that begins a word in Greek. On any vowel or diphthong that begins a word in Greek. For instance, you have a word like huios. Huios is a Greek word. And why it is pronounced as huios is because of the rough breathing mark that is placed on the second letter of a diphthong. That reminds me, if you are placing a breathing mark on a vowel, it's on the vowel. If you are placing on a diphthong, you place on the second letter of the diphthong. That's it. So this huios, why it is pronounced as huios is because the rough breathing mark introduces an H sound to the word. So this is pronounced as H-U-I-O-S. In other words, H, upsilon, iota, omicron, sigma, huios. But smooth breathing mark, wherever it is placed, does not change either the meaning, the sound, or the writing of that particular vowel. All right. Finally, let me introduce us to what we call the punctuation. And a very special punctuation I want us to know today is this punctuation that looks like a semicolon. And this semicolon in Greek is a question mark. It's a question mark, unlike the usual English question mark. Therefore, brethren, wherever you see a semicolon at the end of a Greek sentence, make sure you translate that Greek sentence into English as a question. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Remember, in the first lesson, we promised that the second lesson will feature the vowels, the diphthongs, the breathing marks, and the punctuation. The vowels and the diphthongs. The following 7 letters are vowels. They are alpha, epsilon, eta, iota, omicron, upsilon, and omega. Therefore, among the vowels, eta and omega are always long, epsilon and omicron are always short. Alpha, iota, and upsilon are sometimes long and sometimes short. Now the diphthongs. A diphthong is the fusion of two vowel sounds into one. Hence, a diphthong forms one syllable. Furthermore, iota and upsilon are referred to as high vowels because they habitually join other vowels to form a diphthong. That is why we have I as in fire or eye, O as in house or noun, A as in gray, ew as in few. Then we have I as in toy or boy, ew with eta as in field, e as in weak or we, o as in good or spoon. These are the diphthongs we have. There are about 8 in number. Meanwhile, there are these 3 special diphthongs that I want us to look at. 3 diphthongs are formed by the long vowels alpha, eta, and omega, having the iota. However, they do not form full diphthongs with iota. In other words, instead of the iota being written in front of the alpha and the eta and the omega, the iota is written under the letters and it is called iota subscript. So when you look at it here, you will notice that the iota is converted and placed under the alpha, under the eta, and under the omega. As we proceed in the lectures, you will see where they are implemented. So follow us step by step. So the subscript makes no difference to the pronunciation of these vowels. Bear that in mind. All right. Let us look at the breathing marks. Every vowel or diphthong that begins a word takes a mark over that vowel or diphthong, just like the dot that is usually placed on top of the vowel I in English. The breathing marks are of 2 types. One, the smooth, which is in the form of an apostrophe or comma. Look at it in a yellow label. And the rough in the form of a small c. Look at it in a yellow label. The smooth breathing mark makes no difference in pronunciation of the vowels or diphthong. I repeat, the smooth breathing marks makes no difference in the pronunciation of the vowel or diphthong. Meanwhile, it should be noted that the rough breathing mark introduces an H sound into the Greek word upon which it is placed. Punctuations. The comma and the full stop in Greek are the same as that of English, while the question mark in Greek is like the English semicolon. Therefore, at the end of every question in Greek, add what you call or what English calls semicolon to form the question. You don't put the usual English question mark. Rather, you add or you put the usual semicolon. That is what makes a statement or a sentence in Greek a question.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Did you learn anything today? Oh yeah, look at that. I did. The vowels: omega, alpha, eta, and the diphthongs. You have the A, like in gray, O, as in boy, I, as in isle, and then the fusion of two vowels. At least I learned something today. As we continue, remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to notify us. Go to the comment section, and when you put your questions, please remember the semicolon as the question mark. Give us that thumbs up. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.